Yo, it's time for another weekly recap. Welcome, Frog Nation. We will be looking at all the things we got done during our Twitch streams this week. I did take a little bit of a vacation over the weekend from Friday to Monday. I just got back. So it felt like I didn't get as much done as a normal week because I did take a few days off there, but we did still get a lot done. So let's jump right into it. It's the weekly recap. We are still working hard on our Kickstarter trailer to showcase as much of the game as possible without spoiling too much. So I wanted to make a battle background version of our pirate ship for any story significant fights that may happen on the pirate ship. And I also designed a little pirate outfit for Norman the Frog, as you can see right here. And this was a pretty involved process. So I'm going to show you a few things about it. This is the version of the ship with correct scaling. Like, this is the actual shape of the boat, but our battle backgrounds have to follow some guidelines to make sure that we can fit enough enemies and the players in certain spots. So all of our battle backgrounds have to have enough space between these two red lines. So I made sure that the guardrails of the ship were positioned specifically so that we had a big open area for battles to take place here. We had to do a lot of animation on this battle background, which is not something that every background requires. So we're on the ocean, which means we're in a very organic area with a lot of movement and wind and waves. So there were quite a lot of things that we had to animate, or else this background would have just looked kind of weird. So if we play the animation, we have some sparkles on the water where the sun is. Sun is kind of hidden by these clouds that are passing, but we were looking at some footage of how the sun plays on the water, on the ocean, and I really liked this kind of sparkly effect. We did some waves going from right to left because our ship is facing to the right, so we are currently traveling that way. We did this waving effect on the water itself, how it kind of is wobbling back and forth, and then we also added these clouds. There's 3 different layers of clouds moving at 3 different speeds to emphasize the depth of the background, how we can see off into the horizon. So we had to animate Black Boots the Otter's battle idol. She fights with no weapons, just her fists, so we went for kind of like a brawler stance. This is, I feel like I say this every time I make something new, but this is like my favorite battle background so far. I think it looks really nice. The blues really pop. I'm really happy with the colors. The sails flapping in the wind look really nice. They're kind of at 2 different perspectives. And I think we did a pretty good job translating this ship into a more open area with kind of a different camera angle for the battle backgrounds. The rest of the week was spent doing some, I call it adaptation to this battle background that we have had for a while. It's in our mock-up video, and it was from a time in development where we weren't really sure about the direction of the battle system yet, as far as how we were going to present it, the camera angle, and things like that, like the UI and stuff. So on the left here we have our very old mock-up version of the battle system with the characters doing kind of an over-the-shoulder camera angle. The area where we can actually place actors is quite a small sliver of land. So I went back in and re-sculpted this cliff area so that it fits the guidelines like I was talking about earlier. So here's those red guidelines again, and you can see all of this cliff area is within those 2 things. So if we wanted to add more characters or anything, we have a lot more room now, and all of our animations that we have will work a lot better. If we look at the old version of this battle mock-up as well, the Cardinal is standing up with his wing outstretched, which is a very cool pose, but I thought it was kind of odd to be idling in that pose indefinitely. So this is an animation that Thomas Lean did that is amazing. Feathers flapping in the wind animation. I love this, but I wanted to do an idle animation that looked a little bit more bird-like. So we played around and experimented a lot with him looking at the player, so his head is always facing that way, but he kind of hops around as birds do. So that meant doing this 5-frame rotation so that we get a good sense of the form of Cardinal's body from all these angles, and that always helps me for future animations. So then I wanted to do kind of a way to transition from this idle state to this cool pose, and I thought it would be a really cool attack animation that we could implement. So starting from here, we animated an attack where he kind of rears up on his hind legs and then crouches down and flings his wing out into that pose that we see here, and it looks like this. So I implemented Thomas's wind animation after he flicks his wing out like that, and I thought it worked really well. So since we are on a battle background with this rain happening, we had to reanimate the rain effect, which wasn't a huge deal. It was just a lot of copying and pasting. But another effect that I had to do, which I had never done before, was a lightning bolt animation. So here's my first attempt at doing a lightning bolt, kind of like a root of a tree. And then I did a lot of frames where you can see the energy kind of traveling through these branches, I would call them, of electricity. I didn't look at any references before I did this. I just kind of went in blind and thought about what a lightning bolt looked like and just did it. It looks kind of weird in context, and then these particles float upwards afterwards. After some studying, I did another attempt at some lightning bolts that I think look a little bit better. So we have this. And then this one over here. Very cool, and we timed those with the cardinal flicking out his wing. We also had to apply this lighting effect over both of the characters because the lighting source is behind them, so they have this rim light on the top of them. And that involved basically just duplicating the character and then coloring it solid black with a little transparency and then moving it down 1 pixel or 2 pixels, I think. Pretty simple, but looks really good. I didn't have a chance to post Fan Art Friday or a Screenshot Saturday post this week due to being on vacation, so we will pick up with those next week, which I am very much looking forward to. Oh yeah, I just hit 5,000 followers on Twitter, so we are doing a giveaway on my Twitter page. That's twitter.com/NormanFrog, and we are giving away these perler bead characters that I made. So if you'd like to win either the Norman the Frog or the Marty the Turtle perler bead creations done by me, take a look at my Twitter profile. All you have to do is follow the official Frog's Tale Twitter account and retweet the tweet, and then sign up for our email newsletter, which you should be doing anyway. People that are signed up for the newsletter, as you know, are the only ones that are going to be able to play our demo in the near future. So definitely do that. Please wishlist our game on Steam. That also helps a ton. Follow me on all the socials, subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's about it. See you guys next week. Bye.